Lesson 40.
Repeat.
Who would? Who'd.
Questions.
What's the contraction of who would? What's the contraction of who would? The contraction of who would is who'd. What's the contraction of who would go? What's the contraction of who would go? The contraction of who would go is who'd go. What's the contraction of who would like to do this? What's the contraction of who would like to do this? The contraction of who would like to do this is who'd like to do this.
Repeat.
Cannot. Fat. Thin. Get.
Explanation.
Can't is the contraction of cannot. The only difference between can't and cannot is that can't is used more often. Get is used in many different ways, but a common one is to become something. For example, most people don't want to get fat, they want to get thin.
Questions.
What's the contraction of cannot? What's the contraction of cannot? The contraction of cannot is can't. What's the only difference between can't and cannot? What's the only difference between can't and cannot? The only difference between can't and cannot is that can't is used more often. Do most people want to get fat? Do most people want to get fat? No, most people don't want to get fat. They want to get thin. Is this person fat? Is this person fat? No, this person isn't fat. This person is thin.
Repeat.
Would rather. Supermarket. Online.
Explanation.
Rather has a few different meanings. One of them is the same as prefer, when used with the word would and a verb. Example: which would you rather do, swim or play football? In other words, which would you prefer to do?
Questions.
Would you rather have a great day or a terrible day? Would you rather have a great day or a terrible day? I would rather have a great day. Would she rather go shopping in the supermarket or online? Would she rather go shopping in the supermarket or online? She would rather go shopping in the supermarket. Would you rather be happy or not? Would you rather be happy or not? I would rather be happy.
Repeat.
Queen. King. England. Version.
Questions.
Who's this? Who's this? It's the Queen of England. What do we call the male version of the Queen? What do we call the male version of the Queen? We call the male version of the Queen the King.
Repeat.
Laugh. Laugh with. Laugh at. Polite. Rude.
Questions.
When something is funny, do we laugh? When something is funny, do we laugh? Yes, when something is funny, we laugh. Does it feel good to laugh with friends? Does it feel good to laugh with friends? Yes, it feels good to laugh with friends. Is it polite to laugh at others? Is it polite to laugh at others? No, it isn't polite to laugh at others. It's rude. Is it polite to scream? Is it polite to scream? No, it isn't polite to scream. It's rude.
Repeat.
Main. Homework.
Explanation.
The word main means the most important.
Questions.
What does the word main mean? What does the word main mean? The word main means the most important. Do teachers give students homework? Do teachers give students homework? Yes, teachers give students homework. Which do we say? I do my homework or I make my homework? Which do we say? I do my homework or I make my homework? We say, I do my homework.
Repeat.
I have. I've.
Explanation.
The contraction of I have is I've.
Questions.
What's the contraction of I have? What's the contraction of I have? The contraction of I have is I've. What's the contraction of I have a polite friend? What's the contraction of I have a polite friend? The contraction of I have a polite friend is I've a polite friend. What's the contraction of I have many friends? What's the contraction of I have many friends? The contraction of I have many friends is I've many friends.
Repeat.
You have. You've. beautiful.
Explanation.
You've is the contraction of you have. Beautiful means very pretty.
Questions.
What's the contraction of you have? What's the contraction of you have? The contraction of you have is you've. What's the contraction of you have beautiful eyes? What's the contraction of you have beautiful eyes? The contraction of you have beautiful eyes is you've beautiful eyes. What's the contraction of you have a lot of time? What's the contraction of you have a lot of time? The contraction of you have a lot of time is you've a lot of time.